In the Impact segment tonight, some folks on the far left are blaming white people for the angst in America. Here's what columnist Cynthia Tucker said on NBC News this weekend.
We haven't talked about the elephant in the room, and I don't mean the Republicans. Race, changing demographics, fear of a white minority. Obama's election has suddenly made many white Americans aware of the loss of a white majority. That's what this crazy summer has been all about. Anti-mosque construction, anti-immigrant ravings.
Joining us now from Los Angeles to discuss why Ms. Tucker is playing the race card, Dr. Mark Sawyer. He's a political science professor at UCLA. And from Washington, Dr. Chris Metzler, who is a Georgetown University professor and who also writes about race. Gentlemen, welcome. Chris, let me begin with you. This is completely outrageous. Americans voted in a black man as president with 53% of the vote. And now all of a sudden we're hearing from the far left that now we're a nation of bigots and racists. What's really going on here?
Yeah, well, I mean, Cynthia Tucker's analysis is, I don't know, two apples short of a picnic. I mean, in this particular case, it is as if she's suggesting all of a sudden Americans woke up and said, white Americans woke up and said, oh, you know what? He's a black guy. I didn't know that. That analysis makes absolutely no sense. And the fact is, in order for the president to be elected, whites had to vote him in. So since whites voted him in, all of a sudden they're upset about it. They think there's going to be a white minority. This is about buyer's remorse. At the end of the day, this is about buyer's remorse. That's what it's all about. It's about ballooning deficits. It is about the health care bill. It is about the Secretary Clinton putting in the UN report, this thing about Arizona, as if this is a human rights issue, comparing it to terrorism and all these other human rights abuses in the world. That's what this is about. So let's not play games here.
Mark, on every single big issue, from the economy to Obamacare to the Arizona illegal immigration law to the Ground Zero Mosque, you're seeing some pretty staggering numbers in terms of majorities here. 60 to 70% of the American people opposing Obama's policies and his stance on these issues. So are we to somehow believe that between 60 and 70% of the American people are racist?
No, no one would ever suggest that. I mean,
Cynthia Tucker seemed to.
No, she wasn't. What she was saying is that we've had exactly what we did have. We had a summer where the Republicans, and to a certain degree, you guys at Fox News, realized that racial resentment works in bad economic times. And if you play the racial resentment card, where whites
Mark,
are feeling
it wasn't us playing the race card. It was the far left playing the race card against the Tea Party, against Republicans in a grossly unfair way and with no evidence whatsoever.
You guys had the new Black Panther Party. You guys had the new Black Panther Party.
Which was a legitimate story that the Holder Justice Department threw out. Yeah.
You tried to run with the Shirley Sherrod
this
story.
Was not us, Mark. Nice try, but this was all the far left fanning the flames of these stories, trying to accuse racism where it didn't exist.
Look, the far left looks at the same polls that the Republicans do, that whenever the president is talking about race, it fans the flames of white racial resentment, and his numbers go down. You learned that last summer when you saw him step out about the Henry Louis Gates issue, and that's how they learned how to play the racial resentment card. And that's what's been going on. That's why the numbers of people who think the president is a Muslim have been going up.
Chris,
so it's just simplistic to say that all white people are opposing him because of race. There's a substantial part that are, and data shows that.
This is ridiculous. Okay, so then I guess if I follow that logic, then all of the black people who don't support Bush, they're racist. I mean, that makes no sense. And as it relates to some of the things, no, hold on. As it relates to some of the things that you said relative to Shirley Sherrod was fired by the Department of Agriculture. She was not fired by anyone but them. The NAACP picked a fight with the Tea Party that it found that it couldn't win. So by bringing all of these things that you're bringing in here, it makes no sense. The argument makes no sense.
And
Mark, as it relates to Henry Louis Gates, please.
Mark, let me ask you a broader question here. It seems that the old weaponry of playing the race card isn't working anymore. Americans elected a black president. We have moved on. And so on as a nation in terms of civil rights. And it seems that there is so much desperation that old weaponry of the race card is no longer working. And that's why you're getting these irrational and irresponsible uses of the race card where it doesn't exist. exist, and frankly, it dilutes real racism where it does exist.
No, I mean, okay, that'd be a great analogy if there was a race card that ever worked, if there was some race trump card. Look, the fact is that talking about race is always a difficult and tough subject to talk about. Politicians have always been trying to distance themselves from talking about race, especially black politicians. There's never been some sort of race card where you call white people racist and they'll do anything you want them to do. It's never existed, never has, and never will. And so no one is playing that card.
Well, something tells me that we haven't
card.
exhausted this topic. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here.